I think sports teaches you a lot about yourself and what type of person you are inside. I sleep at night knowing that I've given 100% in every single thing that I do, and I never question it. Athletes that are successful have to work harder than everyone else. I've just always loved going fast. I've always just loved it. I love the rush, I love the adrenaline, and I love just the feel of the speed in your face. When we're skiing downhill, I'd say we're going average of 75 to 80 miles an hour. I have no fear about maybe going into a particular part of the course with 10 miles per hour more speed than anyone else and flying off a jump 60 feet. I have absolutely no problem with that. If you're a professional athlete, your job is to be a good role model. I personally take that job very seriously because I've had personal experience being the inspired kid. I just want them to know that hard work does pay off and your dreams are attainable. As long as you work hard and put everything you have into it, you can do it. I was 2.5 when I first got on skis. I think I mostly just enjoyed the trip to the mountain. I enjoyed going out with my parents and coming in for a nice cup of hot chocolate and maybe a donut with some sprinkles on top. I always loved skiing, but I think, initially when I was younger, it was more of my dad's dream. My dad was a skier, and he was kind of always pushing me in a certain direction so that I could be good at skiing. Unfortunately, I was never able to ski with my mom because of her stroke when she gave birth to me. But my mom's always been there. She's always been the supportive mom in the finish. She's always been there no matter what. Even if she couldn't ski, she was always still with me. It's definitely not been easy for my mom, especially, not just because she had a stroke, but just because she also had 4 other kids after having me. She had triplets. I started racing when I was 7. I was racing against kids that were, 4, 5, 6 years older than me, and I was winning. Visualizing the course is one of the most important things that I do so that it's like the back of my hand, so I know every single thing without question. I know exactly what I'm going to do, and I can see it crystal clear. It's hard to explain. I am not really thinking about anything in particular when I'm racing. It never goes exactly the way I think it's going to go, but you can't force anything. You can't will yourself to win. You have to just believe and let all your hard work take over. You don't want to ski perfectly. You don't want to. Normally the perfect run is never the perfect run. The perfect run is usually pretty slow. I think in life you can learn something from every experience that you have. And I learned, I think, one of the biggest lessons in life from my crash in the 2006 Torino Olympics. Honestly, it was probably the best experience I've ever had. You never know the limits until you push them. And I want to go fast. That's who I am. I don't really think twice about it, but I think that's also a weakness of mine. I was in 2nd place in the downhill training run. I went over a piece of terrain and my ski caught. It was just the most excruciating pain that I've ever felt in my whole life. I thought there was no way that I could come back from something like that. And I thought that was it. I'm never skiing again. my career is over. And that's a really scary scenario to run through your mind when your whole life has been ski racing. The doctors told me that I didn't have any fractures in my back. I asked them when I could ski again, and they were talking months. I said, we've got to get back up to Sestriere. We've got to get back up to the mountains. I need therapy, and I've got to get back on snow tomorrow. The race is tomorrow. And he's like, Lindsey, just take a deep breath. Everything's going to be okay. Your mom's going to come pick you up in a couple hours. And so I was alone in the hospital by myself. And I said, all right, this is it. I'm getting out of this place. So I start hobbling down the hallway with my gown on and definitely did not have enough clothes on. And I was hobbling down and I almost made it to the elevator. And then like 2 nurses came screaming down the hallway and grabbed me and forced me back into my bed. But my mom came only a few hours later, so I eventually did escape. I was back racing 48 hours later. Incredible pain, but I still was out there, and I never had the biggest smile on my face as I did that day. It didn't matter how much pain I was in, I was still standing there on my skis, and I still was able to try and race. I knew that I wasn't going to win a medal, but at least I had the opportunity to be out there and to try.
She has got to be the best example to this entire U.S. team. This is the kind of competitor you want. She's not going to be on the podium, but what an effort she's displayed here.
What can I take from this situation that's positive? How can I learn from this event? How can I be a better person? And I learned that I should probably not crash as much. From that Olympics on, I vowed never to let one day go by where I didn't give it 100%. Sometimes it's not the success, but the failures that make you a stronger person. And for me, that crash was the one single event that made me so much stronger than I ever thought was possible.